Sanbonani, Dumelang, Goeiemorgen, salutations, Nda, or Ndumeliso, and Molweni. I want to add all the South African languages to this greeting thing, but I'm not quite there yet, but I'll get there. But anyways, welcome back to my channel. My name is Yanela. In this video, we're going to discuss the duality of creation in the context of perfection, among many other things. But first, Simphi Vedana. Simphi Vedana is an artist that I've always wanted to really get into. I always knew some of her music, but I didn't know her discography too well. And when my mom managed to get us tickets to go see her live, it gave me the best reason to be listening to her 24/7. I tell you, like for the last 2 weeks before this, me and my parents were just listening to Simphi Vedana every single day, and wow, that woman has soul. She has heart. She has a beautiful, powerful voice. Her messages are affirming and uplifting, and she's just so rooted in her blackness and her Africanness and her Xhosaness and her womanhood. I also love the fact that she's queer. Like, yes, Kardati. So yeah, it was really beautiful to see her. I feel like I've also really become somebody who's like started to think really technically about performances. So just thinking about like how she moves through the space, thinking about lighting and how lighting played a big role there. How her band helped her and how she put the whole performance together. It was absolutely superb.
Ama roots as a cooler eshona phansi.
Yeah.
They're growing it. When we are having to grow ourselves,
Yeah.
we don't do it in full view of everyone.
Yeah.
The fact that he wakes up at 3.
I feel like that's a really cool gem that my dad dropped there during our conversation. It just speaks to how, for you to become the person that you want to become, it's like work that you have to do yourself with yourself, and it's not something that like anybody else can do for you, and it's not something that everybody else is going to see all the time as well. It's something that you have to live with and you have to like work hard at doing. So yeah. Oh, so I forgot to say. So it was Father's Day, and I decided to take my father out to the pottery, where we basically could just get a piece of, I don't know, is it crockery? Anyways, he got a teapot, I got a mug, and then you can paint on it, and then they glaze it for you afterwards, and then you get it back after a couple of days. I've gotten it back now, and it's so pretty. I love it. It's literally at my bedside table right now because I had tea last night. And it's the only mug that I'm going to be using while I'm at home. And my dad loves his, and it looks so cute. That is literally me with like the blonde hair, and that's him with like the beard. I don't know if you can see that. So yeah, it was just a really great day and a bonding session. And I also just have to say that I'm obsessed with this show, and it would be a dream of mine to be in it one day. Ugh, I love it. I come back. I feel like I should be talking a lot more in this video than I have been. Like aside from voiceovers, because I think that that's what I'm gonna do. I don't know what I do until I do it. But like aside from just like showing my life and showing how like my life constantly influences the work I make and the work I'm trying to make, or like where I'm trying to get myself, or just understanding like what I'm supposed to be doing and what my intention is. I feel like I should also be talking because it's a really yappy topic, you know what I mean? It's something that you can really internalize and stuff, and there's just great room for discussion. I wanted to touch on like the balance or this like dual nature of like making that I've really been like battling with and also just trying to figure out. And that's like, what was that? That's like the idea of being a perfectionist. And like constantly working on one project or working on one thing and never being satisfied with it. I mean, I've said even previously in my vlogs, like I'm somebody who's never like completely satisfied with my performances, and I think that can go like that can be the same for a lot of things, like whether it's photography, whether it's performances, whether it's music, whether it's writing, whatever it may be. Like sometimes I struggle a bit, to like really be satisfied and put down the pen and put down, leave everything on stage and be like, fine, I gave my best and I'm happy with it. Like, I think I definitely have that thing where it's like, we can still tweak this can be better, we can still do that, we can, like I have that kind of mentality when it comes to like making work. And so I'm really trying to get over that because, the issue with being somebody like that or being an artist like that is that you constantly never put out your work. And so you find yourself like years down the line thinking about like how, oh, if I released that or if I posted that, like who knows what the reception could have been like, who knows who could have seen that, So I'm really trying to like strive for progress and not perfection, which is why it's like, I don't know. It's interesting because I feel like for the longest time, I've wanted a really perfect visual and sonic like experience of Yanela and like who I am and what I'm doing, or whatever project I'm doing. I've always wanted it to be really perfect. And so sometimes that's really difficult to achieve because, I need to work within my means. And so I'm trying to adapt that mentality of like progress over perfection. But I think the other issue that comes with that, like the other side of of the sword. Is that what they say? Like a double-edged sword. Is the idea of like constantly rushing work then and just like like rushing to put things out and then losing sight of like quality and excellence, all in the name of like, oh, I don't want to be a perfectionist, you know? And so then it becomes frustrating when you like work on something for hours, like whether it just be like singing a song or writing a verse or recording a verse or, you know, writing a script or, you know, like you spend a lot of time doing that or taking pictures, you know what I mean? You put the like outfit together and you're saying, how am I going to get these pieces and what's the location and, you know, all of these things. And you do the work and you put the hours into it and you capture it. You do the, you know, you do the thing and then you look at it and you're like, oh, this is not good. This is not good. Like all of the hours that I spent like working on this, like kind of feel like a waste because it's not good. And like people always say like, oh yeah, it's a lesson and it's a, but then it's like, when am I just gonna like spend time on something and finish it and be satisfied with it, you know? Because also I don't want to put myself in a position where I start putting out mediocre work or mediocre things all in the name of like progress or all in the name of consistency or all in the name of like putting myself out there when it's actually not that good. Which is why I always lean on my friends, you know, especially like one of my friends, Carol. You're probably seeing this. Hi. Hey, Carol. Who's like always like so willing to watch through all the videos and read all the scripts and the verses and the essays and the all of that stuff that I like constantly send them, and I'm like, is this good enough to us? Is this good enough to us? And they're like, you know, I'm gonna be honest, no. Like I think you can do better, or like, you know, just constantly challenging me to do better for myself. And it's something that you don't want to hear because like I'm already doing that to myself. Like I'm already a perfectionist, so I'm trying to like get over that by like posting the work that's not good. But then it's like if you hear it from someone else and it's like, okay, damn, then it really just isn't good and it's not like up to the standard of like what I'm capable of doing, you know? And so it's like important to like constantly, I guess it teaches you like the grit and the like the consistency of like constantly working, like just not like getting that idea out of your mind that like, oh, you put 2 hours into a rehearsal and then a performance is done. Like, no, you need to do it every single day, and it's gonna look ugly sometimes, it's gonna look horrible sometimes, but you need to keep working on it and keep perfecting it and keep honing in on something until it becomes what it's supposed to be, you know? So yeah, I don't know. It's a really interesting one that I'm trying to like navigate and come to terms with. I think just trying to give myself that grace to like make mistakes and to put effort into things that are not going to be seen by anyone, or to put in effort into things that are going to be seen but they're not appreciated. Let me not say not appreciated, but they just don't have a wide reach. But yeah, like I just need to become comfortable with that, and I need to like, you know, learn that like, you know, I'm constantly going to be working on myself and working on the things that I love, and they're not going to be perfect first try, and they're not going to be perfect second try, and sometimes you're going to post things and people are not going to agree with them, and sometimes you're going to have to follow your gut. So I don't know, it's a really interesting one. I've been really thinking about like how I want to present myself in terms of like my style and my music and everything that I write, like just constantly really putting an emphasis on reflecting my identity as a black young queer South African, you know, just really trying to really just express that in a really perfect, excellent way, you know? And I actually remember on my very first vlog, which if you haven't watched that, go watch that. My very first vlog, like just like a couple days before I actually went to Cape Town for second year, I was in Umhlanga, you know, shopping for, I can't remember what I bought. No, this is from Vienna. Damn, or did I buy this? I think I bought this from Vienna, from them. But I was in Umhlanga, and there's like across Oceans Mall, there's like these, you know, these like people who like sell like African accessories and, you know, just African attire and like traditional attire in general. And I went to the beach after that. That was so beautiful. And I did a whole little monologue like I'm doing now. And like I did on the beach earlier, a couple days ago. And I was speaking about my, like how I would really want to just like start like having an individual style, like fashion sense for myself that makes sense for me, that I can be identified by, and that's true to me. Simply because I was speaking about the fact that, like, you know, like we're all complex, so I guess that includes me. And I think that there's a lot of nuance to cover when thinking about the idea of, you know, being black, being South African, post-apartheid, being privileged, being influenced by foreign media, being queer, being young. There's a lot of different things that you can play around with, and there's a lot of different references, and there's a lot of different, you know, yeah, you can create a really beautiful sense of style and individuality for yourself. Like I was saying that, like, I don't know why I deleted it. I think I deleted it because I just felt like the video would be too long for first video. So I deleted. It's gone. It's not even in the iCloud. It's gone. But I wish I could like repeat the things that I was saying there, because I feel like I articulated myself well, and I don't know if I do that all the time. I sometimes fear that I'm not articulating myself well enough. But I was thinking about how, like, style, like people always speak about like personal style and individual style, and I'm like, I don't know. I don't really know if that's like a, let me not say I don't know if it's a real thing, but I don't know how, like, I don't know if it translates all the time. Like when people say they have personal style, I don't know if it translates to me as personal style, because when I look at certain people and it's like, you know, you have the baggy jeans and the like the streetwear and the graphic tees or the monochrome, and it's like, you know, and you're doing the, I don't know, all the aesthetics, the why am I doing it like this? I feel like I'm so old. But like all the aesthetics, like I can't even think about an aesthetic right now, like the mafia wife and the clean girl and the like all of these aesthetics, like how do they speak to you, and how, or like how is it individual if like it feels like you're just following like a TikTok or Pinterest trend, you know what I mean? So I was like, and even thinking about myself, like thinking about the style that I had, I feel like it was definitely influenced by like streetwear and like, you know, all of that, like for the longest time. And it was good enough to like not make me feel ugly, and I was just like, I'm presentable, and you know, like that's what it is. But I've really started to like kind of understand the idea of individual style, even looking at artists as well here, looking at artists who really managed to like find themselves and find their niche and find their thing, like whether it's pop stars, whether it's artists, whether it's like musicians, whether it's actors, like just the way that they dress and the way they present themselves is like sometimes so reflective of their culture and the town they grew up in, and their identity in all its complexities. And I feel like I really want to get to that point where I can do that. So it's like I've been trying, you know. Well, I've been doing it. I've been putting more and more energy into like getting rid of old clothes that I feel like don't speak to me, and like thrifting now, and like, you know, just like going to like the markets and like all the really like cool snazzy like South African, you know, like really deeply rooted centered places that like still make me feel young and confident and youthful and fun and sexy, and you know, all of those things. So yeah, I feel like that conversation and that idea of like trying to find my style is something that I'm also putting into like my content in general. Like even just thinking about my feed and like what vibe do you get from me, and how, you know, I feel like I think about that a lot. Like I really overthink about like what if I'm just not giving what I think I am in my head. Like what if my idea of myself in my head isn't the idea that everybody else is receiving of me, and how do I change that? A word. So yeah, I don't really have anything else to say, but yeah, I think I'm working on it. I think, you know what I think I have a lot of I think there's two things that I need to start doing. I think I need to stop rushing content and rushing posting and rushing releasing stuff if they're not ready. If my friend says that they want to do a photo shoot, I don't have to take pictures. That's their location, and that's their aesthetic, and that's their vibe, and that's their, like, they have their own message and their own story and their own vibe that they're trying to, like, you know, achieve, and or that they are achieving. And that's the other thing. This is going on another tangent. But I also feel like sometimes I look at my friends and I look at creatives and and I'm just like, y'all got this. You know, like, y'all, like, some people really out there, like, I look at them and I'm like, I see your vibe, I see your niche, I know what you listen to, I know what you read, I know what you're interested in, I know what topics, you know, tickle your fancy. Like, I know that, like, I know what kind of person you are because you constantly show up as that version of yourself, or the most authentic version of yourself every single day. And I just want to get to that point where I can do that. But, you know, the other thing is, like, what if they're also on their own journey, constantly trying to, I mean, actually everyone's on that journey. It's your life's journey, finding yourself. Light bulb. It's your life's journey to try to find yourself. But what I'm saying is, like, what if they're also on that journey, and, like, to me it looks like they've already got it, you know? So, like, what if someone's looking at me and they're like, oh yeah, like, Yanela, they've got it. Like, they know what they're, like, they know their story, you know? That would be great. I would love to hear that if someone thought that. I'd love to be told that so that I know that I'm, like, on the right track or something. But anyways, I was making a point before I went on a tangent. And now I'm forgetting. Oh, right, I remember. I was saying that the things that I'm trying to learn is that you don't need to rush content. You don't need to involve yourself in constantly capturing. When your friends are doing other things, or when other people who you're working with are trying to create and they're asking for your assistance or moral support, you don't need to involve yourself. You don't also need to take the pictures. You don't also need to, you know, like, it's not everything's for you. I think it's also about learning to capture the things that are important in my life, in the sense that, like, you know, as much as I think it's important to, like, not curate and document. Instead, like, document your life, don't curate it. And I feel like that's what I do with my vlogs already. But I didn't think this, like, the idea of, like, just because there's a plate of food in front of you, you don't need to take a picture of it. Just because that statue looks nice, you don't need to take it. Like, does it speak to you? Does it speak to, like, your vibe and your niche and your, you know what I mean? Like, think about yourself. Think about what colors you like. Think about the music that you like. Think about the spaces that you want to be in, the spaces that you want to surround yourself with. Think about the materials that you want to be wearing, the silhouettes that you want to be wearing, and stick to them. If for some reason you're, you know, this, like, super neo so Afro girly, and, like, you have a dinner at work and it requires you to, like, wear, like, some really corporate thing, you don't need to take a picture of that, because it's not you. It's just you adapting or allowing another version of yourself to fulfill the requirement of that event or of that context, you know what I mean? So it's just, like, also just, like, have that discernment, like, gaining discernment of, like, you don't need to capture everything. Just, like, filter out all the things that are not necessary in your life, like, aesthetically, visually, everythingly, you know? And then three, I think the thing is just, like, just keep creating. You know what I mean? Just keep creating. Just give yourself the grace to, like, keep creating the things that, like, are in your brain that you want to do, but you feel like are difficult to do. And I feel like that's what's even better. Like, if you want to create something and it's seeming really difficult, but creating that thing is what's really going to speak to you and speak to, like, your intentions as a person and as an artist, then, like, you should work on that. Like, don't do 10 mini projects that don't speak to you, because then you look back and you're like, oh, everything that I've done in the past 2 months, like, doesn't reflect where I want to be. But if I worked on that one project, I would have finished it by now and I would be happy with it. So it's like, yeah, just keep creating. Like, in my mind, there's so many things that I want to do. You know what I mean? Like, things that I want to write, want to perform, want to buy, want to capture. You know what I mean? Like, so many different things in my mind. And it's just, like, I think just take each day at a time and just, like, do each thing at its time, get it done, you know? And don't, like, constantly look back at your past mistakes or the things that you don't like and be like, oh, I didn't do this properly, I wish I could just, like, no, it's a process. It's a process. And that's the beauty about finding yourself and creating really beautiful things that like reflect humanity, that like these things take time. That's why they're precious. You know, they're not gonna happen in 2 days. Okay? Yeah. This is 18 minutes. How long is this vlog gonna be? Okay. Bye.